You really need to know the truth about bulking because it is far from what you think. A lot of people have this great idea that shoveling an excessive amount of food in their mouth, no matter the quality, is great for building muscle. And the harsh truth is, you're just going to get fat by doing this. So how should we bulk? Well, let's talk about it. There's normally two paths that people take during a bulk. There's the dirty bulk and the lean bulk. Dirty bulking is a lot of people's excuse to go all out and eat whatever they want. By doing this, you're not really fueling your workouts to make gains, you're actually just fueling the dopamine that's inside your brain. This path can lead you into quite a few problems later down the road. So let's go over some of these. The first up is having high expectations of your size gains. All your size and strength gains may look good and you might feel like you're making great progress in the gym, but the reality is you've just got a layer of fat covering your muscles and there's way less muscle under there than you actually think. This is even more severe in more experienced lifters due to the fact it's harder for them to gain muscle. Don't get me wrong, some people might like this look as you look huge with a top on, but when the tops come off and you're compared with someone a lot leaner, they'll almost always look bigger. The strength gains, however, are usually pretty impressive. If you weigh more, by default you'll be able to lift more. But the lack of functionality of this extra weight is where the problem lies. You'll find yourself relatively sluggish due to the excessive body weight and you'll be frequently out of breath. So is a bulk even worth doing? Of course it is, but there's just a far better way of doing it, which I mentioned earlier, and that's the lean bulk. Let's talk about that. Lean bulking, in my opinion, is a miles better way to gain size and strength. The results might come a little slower, but with everything in fitness, patience is key. So how do we apply a lean bulk to our training and nutrition? First up, let me give a quick disclaimer. If you have a body fat percentage of 18% or higher, you want to be cutting the fat first. This is just for the simple reason that if you have more body fat, your ability to gain muscle while losing fat is a lot better. This is called body recomposition. You'll basically be using your existing fat as energy to create muscle while you're in a deficit. If you want to find out about how to properly cut and maintain all of your muscle mass, go check out the video I did on cutting, I'll link that up top. Anyway, let's get back to the bulk. To do this properly, we need to set a basic goal, and this is going to be your rate of weight gain. Now this is so important for bulking. This 2019 study actually provides some really simple guidelines we can follow. There's 3 groups in this table based on lifting experience. If you're a beginner, you should be gaining 1 to 1.5% of your body weight per month. If you fit into the intermediate category, you should be looking at 0.5 to 1% per month. And if you're an advanced lifter, 0.5 of your body weight per month should be the limit. Now what this looks like for most people is a 10 to 20% increase from your maintenance calories. But this number is far less than what people usually perceive as necessary for a good bulk. And there's also some data to back this up. In this 2010 study, 39 athletes were randomly divided into 2 groups, one of which was overfed by 600 calories, and both groups were also training 4 days a week. The results show the overfed group didn't gain significantly more muscle mass than the baseline calorie group, but they did gain over 3 times the fat mass. This just highlights the fact we don't need a huge surplus to gain muscle. So you're probably assuming that we need to eat 100% perfectly clean to get all these calories in. And let me tell you now, that's not the case. Now that's true to a certain extent. We do want some decent food in our bodies to get all the required nutrients in, but the beauty of a bulk is that you'll be getting a fine amount of those nutrients in by just eating around 80% of your diet healthy foods. Most people would find it pretty hard mentally to stick to a perfectly clean bulk for an extended period of time. It's better to allow yourself some leeway and save around 20% of your calories for some more indulgent choices, but just don't go mad with it. Once we've got your rate of weight gain locked in, the rest of it's a complete breeze. Just ensure to keep some high intensity cardio in your program to keep your overall fitness level up. And remember to lower your expectations. Unless this is your first year in training, you're going to find the process just as slow as it always is, so be mindful of this and stay patient. A common mistake I see is that people want to see the gains they've made straight away. So what happens is they'll jump into an aggressive cut as soon as they finish the bulk, and this is actually the complete wrong way to go about it. What you'll find is you'll just lose all the muscle mass that you created in that bulk when you've cut down so aggressively. It's better to take the slow and steady approach to hold on to as much muscle mass as we possibly can. And especially when endurance sports start to get involved, the amount of food you need to consume on a daily basis to only hold your body weight just becomes ridiculous as it is. And trying to put on size while also running through lots of zone 2 work can seem extremely difficult. When you're at this point, you really have to focus on your food being the fuel for your workouts. Prioritize whole foods that are dense in nutrients to keep your body going for longer. Now, there's so many people out there that don't understand this about bulking. I think most of it stems from the eat big to get big quote. And while this is true to a certain extent, you just don't have to go crazy with it and eat as much as a lot of people are eating. While the strength gains of a dirty bulk are really good, when we get into the actual fitness side of things, our cardio really starts to take a hit. It becomes such a task to do everyday things, and it's just a nightmare to deal with altogether. So now you know how to bulk properly, you need to know how to cut and when to cut to efficiently keep all of that size on that you've just gained. Luckily, I've got a video for this which you go watch next. You'll find that over here.